Picture this. You wake up one morning and you immediately recognize a smell. But it's not just any smell. It's special. It's a smell that brings you back to your childhood, your happiness. So you run into your kitchen, see a beautiful tinfoil platter, and underneath that steamy tinfoil, pancakes. The greatest thing man has ever invented. The kind of art that makes the creation of Adam look like finger painting. Something so simple yet effective that flips your day into something beautiful. You go to snatch a bite, and you enjoy that fluffy taste, but immediately, something's wrong. Things become blurry, your hearing is muffled, and then eventually, you die. There was a study that showed that 99.9% of the food you eat does not contain literal poison. But that 0.1% still exists, and we have to do something about it. And that means we should be throwing all that tainted food in the garbage, right? No! We must still preserve God's gift to all humanity in getting rid of poison. So instead, I'll be teaching you all a simple method of how to remove any deadly substances from one of the few genuine things in this world. This is how to remove poison from pancakes. The first thing you're going to need to do is turn the pancakes into batter. And you can do that by putting your pancakes on the griddle on medium to high heat and giving it compliments. Because, like any human being, they melt from warm affection. You are the fluffiest thing ever. And you make waffles look like old Rice Krispie treats. Be sure not to say anything that could have double meanings, or they'll get shriveled up by thinking about interpretations that go against them. The reason you do this in a griddle is because if you do it on a plate, you're just left with a plate of batter, which is pretty disgusting. Once they're at the consistency of, well, batter, be sure to scrape it all into a bowl. Now from here, you'll need to dig the poison out like that, right? No! We are not animals, and we will not behave as such. We gotta break it down more. So the next thing you'll need to do is separate the dry and wet ingredients. There are many ways you can do this. You can water bend the wet out of the dry, you can put magnets on either side to pull them apart, or you can do what I do and scare them into practicing social distancing. Hey, wet ingredients, I heard the dry ingredients have symptoms of COVID-19. Just like that.
Is coronavirus jokes going to be dated in a few years? I mean, World War III jokes are, but that's because it didn't even happen. Will coronavirus still be relevant in a few years? I don't know. Time will only tell.
So now you've broken it down to its wet and dry ingredients. You should be good now, right? No! There is a lot more breaking down you need to do on both sides. So let's start with the wet ingredients. First of all, you'll need to remove the butter, and you can do that by massaging your fingers inside the bowl until you've made the butter a stick again. Hey, it's like that scene from Ghost. So now we just have the milk and the sneaky little eggs hiding at the bottom of it. You can take care of the eggs by simply drinking it via Rocky Balboa. So now you're just left with the milk. And the simplest way to get rid of it is by pouring it into a nice glass and using it for your Pop-Tarts. So now all that's left to break down is the dry ingredients. First, you'll deal with the baking powder. Now baking powder is the thing that makes pancakes light and fluffy, so that means we can only remove it by counteracting the light fluffiness, and the simplest way to do that is by applying some toughness juice. This hard-to-find juice is made of liquefied auras of the toughest things out there. Bricks, jackhammers, Ricardo Milos. Just one spray should do it. Perfect. Now time for the black sheep of the family, the salt. They say you can remove salt by rubbing your fingers a la Salt Bae right above the ingredients. Huh, would you look at that? Now for the opposite end of the spectrum, the sugar. A deceptively difficult way of removing it is by putting the bowl on top of a glass with a $5 bill separating them. And if you hit the bill just right, it goes right through. So here you are, the last ingredient, the flour. Even now, there's still one more thing that's needed to be done. Here we have a normal sifting mechanism, pretty standard stuff. But only the greatest chefs, and some guy on Reddit, know about a secret button inside the handle of the sifter. This button switches it to Bizarro mode. It acts pretty much like a vacuum where it sucks up all the flour and clumps it all together. Do that for a couple of minutes, and then you'll finally come across the poison. And in this case, the poison is a little piece of paper. Let's see what's on it. Oh, it's the digital download code for cats. I have no idea how I got a hold of this, but I'm just gonna throw this away and rethink my life choices that brought me to possess this. Now that we have finally taken the poison out, we need to remake our pancakes. That may be difficult since we've pretty much taken every ingredient away, but that's why I learned this magical rhyme instead. Light and fluffy, the best in town, make my baptized pancakes appear right now! Okay, it's not an exact rhyme, but close enough. Top off your pancakes with some butter and maple syrup, and at long last, it's finally time to dig in. The soft, fluffy texture of the pancake is so rich and tasty, and pairing this with the sticky syrup adds flavor and makes the textures just... Wait a minute. Oh no. I forgot to take the poison out of the syrup!